what's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the B3 Podcast. I'm your host, Brett, and I got Matt GPT. We got our show partners. Yeah, that's it. We got our show partners, Elite Nutrition. Check them out, elitenutritionomaha.com. Use code B3 at checkout for 10% off. Or you can go to the store in Omaha or Lincoln, yell B3.
Get a free shaker.
And 10% off. And we also have Rosewood Block to make the best cutting boards and barbecue. Fully customizable. Check them out at rosewoodblock.com. Use code B3 at checkout for 10% off there. And after you get the cutting board, get some beef from D&D Beef. They're local to Omaha, but they ship nationwide. Use code B3 at checkout for 10% off there. Also, and we have Omaha Barbell, the real Midwest Mecca for all your health and fitness needs.
That was a fucking great transition.
It was.
That was money.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the board. I just oiled mine last week.
Yeah.
Before I left. It looks so good once it gets freshly oiled.
I know. I should oil this one we have here on the table. If you haven't seen it, we have one on the table. It's fantastic.
It's pretty splendid.
Yes. Yeah. Today we're going to talk about competition and competing no matter what it is. Obviously, the three different words in our title are all competitive things. Does it make you better or does it make you more obsessed with what you're doing? What's that old saying? Obsessed is a word that lazy used to describe the dedicated.
Oh, okay.
It's an old saying. We had it on a shirt one time at our training studio.
It's a lot to put on a shirt.
Yeah, you had to use small font.
Like one of the No Fear shirts that had like a paragraph on the back.
Yeah. Second place is just the first loser. But yeah, I think it's kind of the same to an extent, obsession and wanting to compete, because I think if you want to compete, you're somewhat obsessed with what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure at the top level of anything. Like that's an obsession. Like you have to sacrifice so much.
Yeah, and there's some people we've seen at competitions that are just there for funsies.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that they're as obsessed with it, or they just like something to do on the weekend.
Yeah, it's definitely a scale. And I think the third option I think there is that it could turn you off from doing what you're doing.
Yeah, especially especially in powerlifting where you have some beginner gains, and you see your strength coming up real fast. You're like, oh, if I just keep going at this pace, I can catch this person, or I can do this, or I can blah. But that's not always the truth.
Yeah, I still think it's good because like my brother, for instance, was doing like distance shooting with, I don't remember what the division was, like low caliber. I think he was shooting a 17 HMR out to like 300 yards. Pretty good, like paint and steel, solid groupings. And so I've been telling him, he was telling me how good he was. And I was like, well, you need to compete then. Like if you really want to know how good you are, like you got to compete. That's the only way to do it. And so I hounded him, and finally he was like, all right, I got this competition. I was really excited, did it, got last. And has not competed since. Now, to be fair, he signed up in the open division with like a production gun. So it'd be like us shooting open with a iron sight Glock. Well, maybe not quite there.
Yeah.
Something, but it was like, so he should have been in a different division, but I think it was still for him, it was a turnoff from competition because he had these expectations of being really good and then got smoked.
And I think we should explain the open part. Like in powerlifting and open means you're just going against everybody.
Yes.
No ages. You're not doing a master. You're in a weight class, but you're going against everybody. You're not trying to pigeonhole to an age and win the division. Whereas in like pistol shooting, open is like your gun can have any gizmo and gadget on it. You want it. Whereas if you're like a production, which is the opposite end of it, it's just your gun with iron sights. You're limited on your magazine size, things like that. So that's where open and shooting completely changes.
Yeah. So essentially, if it was like he did a powerlifting meet as a raw lifter competing against geared lifters.
Yes.
Is essentially what he did.
Yeah. So that's another way to look at it that way. Yeah.
But I think if you're interested and you're really wanting to like get into something, like most things have some kind of competitive edge to it, and I think it's good to do that if you are going to be comparing yourself to other people. Now, some people just show up to the gym, they just want to lift and they want to do their thing. Cool. Like there's not really a competition for that, but when you start thinking about, oh man, like I bench this or I squat this or I can shoot this or I can run that, and now you're like touting yourself as having some kind of accomplishment, like those are the people I think you need to step on a platform, step on the stage do something.
Yeah, and the nice thing in powerlifting, you can look at numbers and know where you might have a shot. Like we got into the pistol shooting, I didn't really understand how hit factor things worked. So, like when we went into our first shoot, I was like, you know what? I bet we can do pretty decent. Like we're not like inbreds here. Like I bet we can place top half of the group. Like you know what I mean? Like I feel like we move pretty fast. We can do this. Like I think we're gonna have like a pretty fucking
We'll be all right.
solid run. You know what I mean? And I guess if we like talk about the Cornhusker, like yeah, nope. Nope. What was there? 150 competitors?
Yeah.
And we were in the bottom third.
Yeah. The top of the bottom third, but still the bottom third.
So, yeah. But you have to like, okay. But then you have to look at it and be like, okay, I did this and I did this. Now that's where that obsession part can come in.
Right.
Because you're like, I need to do this, this, and this. And then to a certain extent, like getting different equipment isn't always going to fix what your problem is.
For sure.
Sometimes you're the problem.
For sure. Like right now, I don't think our equipment, at least in shooting, our equipment is not the problem. We are the problem.
Yeah. Especially when you can see people who are shooting at very high levels with the same equipment that we have.
Yeah. Like I shoot pretty much the same gun as Lane.
Yes.
And we are a little bit away.
Yeah. Yeah. And you just have to, it's just so many little nuances, just like in powerlifting. And sometimes, now I think in a sport like powerlifting, sometimes genetics are a little more involved, obviously, than in a sport like shooting.
Yeah, I think there's probably some still genetics, like your hand-eye coordination, just like your natural presentation.
How you see things, how fast you see things.
Like Aaron
things.
is a really good shot with a pistol. Like she never grew up shooting, didn't do that, but she just has good hand-eye coordination and that good like presentation. Like she doesn't know, like her body doesn't know its presentation. She's just like, when I do this, I put this out here, and like she ends up in a really good spot.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I think how you see things and how you remember and how you move and things like that. But that's where your obsession comes in, because now you want to figure out what do I have to do to get to, the middle third,
Right.
or to the top third. You know what I mean? And like there's some people that are just like freaky fast and whatever,
Yeah.
or strong. But it's when you've kind of mastered all the skills, now where you put in the work to make those skills faster. Or, will you put in the time in the gym to get stronger and stronger? Like I said, that's where I think obsession starts to take over. And then you're reading every article. And
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, the 3 words in the title, like those 3 words, like I think me and especially on those 3 things, Matt and I, and not to say that Tanner doesn't have a wealth of knowledge on a lot of them, but we're very similar in that once we are into something, we're going to learn everything.
Yeah. Like I don't like not being what I consider above average at anything.
Yeah.
It bothers me a lot.
And I'm not like, I need to know all the secrets. Like Tanner needs to be the gatekeeper of whatever he thinks, you know what I mean? But I'll watch almost anything to see if I can learn something.
Right. Pick out little nuggets of knowledge here and there to just get a little bit better, a little more refined.
Yeah. I mean, like yesterday I worked with the guy that we met at the Cornhusker and shot with him, and just little things he talks about, and some people worry about certain, like I was talking to him about the way I grip the gun, especially with my left hand. I was like, well, I do it this way. And he's like, yeah. Where some other guys have been like, why do you hold it that way?
Yeah.
Because I go with my finger out in front of the trigger guard and I have a little bit higher palm on it. And I said, I took it from, I saw this guy, which I saw PewView. I said, that's how he holds it to manage recoil more. When he's higher up on it, he puts a flashlight on it instead. But I just put my finger out there. And he was like, I used to shoot like that all the time. He's like, if it works for you, who cares?
Right.
Yeah. And he's like, there's nothing like extremely wrong with it.
Yeah. Like if you're cupping the bottom like the balls, then okay.
Yeah, like there's some things, it's just like some people, like with lifting, some people squat a certain way and it works really well for them.
Yeah, but I think if you looked at your grip versus all the grips and like how people squat versus how everyone squats, the majority are going to fall within a deviation or two, like that, not that far outside from the median of the bell curve. So it's like, cool. If you're in there, now if you're way out on the far extreme, it's like, all right, then I think you really should evaluate like why you're doing that.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it for a very, very specific reason, like I know a lot of people who are getting into strongman try to deadlift like the professional strongmen do, with like a very wide stance, arms out wide and that. And it's like, cool, but you're also not 6'8", 450 pounds.
Yeah, sometimes that stance is only wide because they need to be able to get in between their,
they need to
get
be
their
able,
belly in between their legs.
They've got to be able to get in there. Like it's more mechanically advantageous if they could get their legs together, but it doesn't work in the totality of what they have.
Yeah. Yeah, and that kind of, like, that's like our very first podcast. We talked about the common denominator stuff, like
100%.
what people do. And so, yeah, but getting out there and I've watched, talk about, not obsessed, but watching different things. I watched multiple different videos, different people shooting the way they do it, and I've tried different ways, and I felt like that one gave me the best, and what you can do, and what you can produce most consistently.
Yes. Yeah.
And like I said, that I was telling you before the show, that's what we talked about yesterday when I was shooting with that guy. Just consistency, from your draw to your presentation to your movements. If you can consistently do it over and over, then you can speed it up. I mean, that's with anything. Like I remember when I was in high school, I worked for a mechanic and I just did like oil changes. And I remember like, 'cause you'd have to pull it in on the lift. You'd have to get the lift set up, raise it up, do these things. And then where you start to do it so often that I would like, there were multiple times I would look under the car to make sure I put the drain plug in, because you do it so much that it just is what you do, and you do it fast. Like you'll be talking to people and you don't even know that you did it. And that's when but I was doing, how many oil changes a day, like especially during the summer. I'd be there every day during the summer and I probably would do, 50 oil changes during the week. Well, you don't even pay attention. You're just like, oh, did I put the drain plug in? And then you're like, or somebody would ask you, like jokingly, like, did you put the drain plug in? Then you're like, fuck,
did I?
Well, and just start the car and look underneath. There's no puddle. You're doing pretty good. But yeah, and it's just like, even your training patterns, like when you're squatting, like you're just going to do things. You know what I mean? Like when you're telling somebody a cue and then you're like, did I do that? And you're like, but you just naturally, like when I naturally stand up with the squat, I have like a certain tightness and feel that you're going to have, but you've done it so many times. And that's, not to kind of divert completely, but that was like when Westside used to train speed work. Obviously it was for speed, but it was also like, if you're doing 12 sets of 2 on a squat, that gives you 12 setups. So if you're doing that once a week for a year, do the math on that. So you got 52 weeks getting 12 setups. You've practiced your setup like over 500 times. Actually almost 600 times that you've practiced this setup.
Right.
Like, so you should be pretty fucking good at it at that point. And then that's the consistency. Again, you can go back to obsession, which I think obsessions, a lot of stuff is just consistency with.
Yeah. And sometimes I think people shit on the word obsession because like you think of obsession as
like I'm outside
sacrifice. The window. Smell different when you're awake.
Yeah. Oh man, he looks so different.
But yeah, like obsession, like you can be obsessed with something and then like I think there's this attachment to it of like, oh, if you say I'm obsessed with that, people think like you're automatically sacrificing something and you're giving up all this other stuff. And you don't have to. Like there's different levels of what would be deemed obsession, I think.
Well, yeah, and if you come to the gym every day and you train for a couple hours, are you really giving up anything in those couple hours? I mean, there's a good chance you're not.
Right. I mean, there's trade-offs, right? You're not doing something else, but
yeah. And some people are like, well, I could be home with my family, or you could come early in the morning while your family's still sleeping.
Right. Or you trade off 2 hours, 3 days a week in the gym so that you get an extra 2 years with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Or, like going shooting. There's plenty of people who, that are competitive shooters that don't go to the range every single day. They go maybe once or twice a week, but they do a lot of stuff at home, like just dry fire, stuff like that. It's how you want to do it. Like I got that VR simulator.
Do you think that VR simulator had carryover?
I'll be interested to see started using, because I haven't really been using it because we've been going a lot. I think it helps with because you can run the same dot because I have a Holosun on it. Obviously, second shot doesn't do anything for you because there's no recoil on it. But I think, and I'll be interested to play around with it now that I've, as marginal as the better we've got, I think it'd be interesting to get back on it and play it consistently and see.
Yeah.
Because I think finding the dot and the target acquisition, because I'll probably I can't run a lot of courses with it because I don't have a lot. I can go out in my yard, but I think that's weird.
I'll be fine.
Yeah. I can't move a ton around where I have it in my basement, but I think doing the steel challenge, like single shot stuff, just moving to acquire targets and then trying to, and you can set up your own range on there too. So you can set up cardboard targets on it.
Nice.
And then they're like self-healing. You have like so long before they, and actually I talked to Tarver yesterday about it, and he said he played it in his backyard. His buddy brought it over and he was kind of on the same idea. He's like, I don't think it's going to hurt you at all.
Yeah.
Cause you're shooting like the gun is a similar weight. And like I said, if you can run the same dot, I guess I don't know how it wouldn't help you.
Yeah. The only thing I could see like a potential is that it would give you overconfidence on your follow-up shots.
That's where you can't take that part in. Yeah.
But if you like steel challenge, I think would be great, especially like draw presentation, pull trigger.
And they have one
result.
They have one on there where there's like drones flying by with steel targets.
Oh shit.
So they're moving steel targets. So you're shooting those, like you can shoot like a Texas Star on it.
Cool.
You can do stuff like that. And actually one of my clients helps coach one of the high school shotgun teams. And I came across similar idea, but for shotgun sports.
Oh, okay.
And so one of the guy that's I think he's the main coach there. I think he's like world champion or high level anyway. And so he tried it out and he thinks it's awesome.
Cool.
Because you can shoot all different stands. You can set up the weight of the gun. You can do all this stuff. So you're swinging around basically like your shotgun, but you're in your house and you can do it. So
cool.
They acquired a bunch of the Meta. I think you have to have a Meta 3 headset for the VR. And then for them, it's nice because the game's only like $70. And you have the entire thing.
Oh, nice.
Whereas the one like I did is like subscription.
Yeah.
Which I'll probably just subscribe to it during like winter.
Right.
And then not whatever, you know what I mean? So yeah, they actually, and then like 4 or 5 of the coaches got together and shot it and they were like, my arms were tired like I was out shooting.
Cool.
So
wow.
I just don't think, like I said, you don't get your recoil things, but I just don't think there's any way it's not going to help you.
Right. Just like dry fire, right? I mean,
yeah.
Dry fire, you get no recoil. You don't see a target. You don't see that stuff.
Yeah. If you look at this, it's just dry fire, but more fun.
Right. It's like responsive dry fire.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can just keep moving. Like they have a steel challenge one on there. They have to shoot a center round target. And then there's like, I think 4 silhouette steel targets on each side. And when you shoot the round one, it activates 2 of the outside ones. And it might be the furthest one. So you have to shoot that and then shoot this one, the right one, shoot the left, whichever way you want to go first.
Okay.
And then shoot the center. And then the next one will come up, shoot the center. And the next 2 will come up. But then they start speeding up. And you only have so long to get to the outside targets before they disappear. And then it slows down and kind of starts over. And then you got to keep going.
Okay.
And then it keeps track of how much you've shot and how much money you've saved.
That's the thing is, fuck, like, God, it's expensive.
I mean, yeah, even at like 24 cents a round, if you go out on a Friday and you shoot 200-300 rounds.
I mean, it's I'm just like in my head, I budget. I'm like, it's $100 a day to go shoot.
Yeah. Which is no different than going golfing.
Right.
You go golfing is going to cost you like $75. And then you're probably going to eat, probably have some drinks.
Right. And I tell myself that being an effective shooter is a better life skill, but
yeah. And don't get me wrong, I just went golfing last weekend too. But yeah, I think it's very similar to golfing.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
And we only shoot like you and I mean, you can shoot your hot, but we only shoot like once a week on the video, really.
I shoot, once a week and stuff. And then like, if I can get out during the week, like, but those I really just try when I was doing it before I started all this travel, I would just go out and shoot, like just do single draws and shoot, largely because like that CZ has that double action, single action. So that first pull is like so much different. I'm still like not totally used to it. But
I think competition doesn't necessarily make you obsessed. It depends on what you want out of the competition.
Yeah.
Do you just want to go and compete and hang out with your friends? Like there's that one older lady that shot with us.
Fuck yeah.
She was super nice. She was just there to just go shoot some guns.
Yeah, just fucking having a great time.
She was not racing anyone. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Is she obsessed? I
mean, maybe. I mean, it depends what you identify as obsessed. I don't think there's like a...
And hers might be, you know what? It keeps me active. I'm getting some steps in.
I get some steps in. I get to shoot, get to move, get to do this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's fun to do that. Like after we did that qualifier, I was like, all right, cool. That was fun. Like it's a different environment. Even if like we took all those same qualifiers and we just built a stage in one of the pistol pits, shot it a couple times, made the new one, shot it a couple times, made the new one. Like that's a totally different environment than being in like the competition setting and running it there. Cause like you get different like pressures and different things that I enjoy.
Yeah. And that's, people are watching you. And that also goes into how you respond to people watching you. I just don't really care that much.
I did the first time we went.
Oh yeah, the first time, and I think did I shoot last on that stage or first?
Yeah,
I shot last. I think
you shot last. I shot first.
Yeah,
or like second or something.
That's fucking.
Yeah, so you're just watching everyone else go.
And I left my safety on.
Hey, at least you didn't have to shoot first on like the hardest stage of the Cornhusker.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but then this last shoot I did, and it was the stage that Lane put together that I was like, we don't need Grandmaster stages. And I was the first one to shoot, and it was awful. I shot terrible. That was like my lowest score of the day.
Right.
Fuck.
Well, yeah, I mean, with some of them, like looking through some of the different stages, because I found a video that showed like, here's what different stages, look at all of them. And like you get to some of those level like 4 and 5 stages, it's more like mental gymnastics to remember what the fuck you're doing than it is like shooting skill.
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, but it doesn't make you obsessed. It depends on what you want out of it, how far you want to go with it. How much better do you want to get? Mm-hmm. And even when I was talking with the guy yesterday we were shooting with, and we were just talking about I was telling him about how it's a level 1 match, and I thought, and this isn't a complaint, I was just like, it was a very intricate stage. And he goes, well, the hardest part as a match director is trying to lay it out so that everybody is
challenged.
And then, so we were talking about it again later on. And I just said, because even one of the other guys with us, he goes, that was the toughest stage of the day. And that's fine. Mm-hmm. I get that. And I was like, well, why don't they if you're like, hey, how many of you is this your first time shooting? Oh, they all raise their hand. Okay, we're going to start you on the easiest stage today. So then they kind of get, I'm not saying don't throw people to the wolves, but it's also like, you don't want them to like hate it or get DQ'd.
Yeah.
Like if it's your first time competing and it's a stage that you have to run forward and backwards on, there's a very good chance you could get disqualified.
You're going to fucking break the 180. You're going to flag somebody.
So should it be laid out differently? You know what I mean? And they were talking about, should there be like the pricing setup be different? Mm-hmm. But that's a whole nother thing that gets, because federations bother me. A lot of organizations bother me because they don't care. Mm-hmm. They don't. And he was even talking about that. He did a shoot that he goes, it was probably like one of the worst shoots I've ever done. He's like, I can't remember where it was because he does some 3-gun stuff too. And he's like, but he got like second or third. He's like, and I got $750. He goes, and that paid for my flight, my ammo. And I said, and he was talking about one of the guys that won one of the shoots he was at. They were like, well, hey, you can have, he said there was like 3 different guns on the table that were probably $2,000 or better in value. Or you can just take a cash prize of $800, and the guy took the $800. Some people just want cash, and some people like. Here's the thing: is all these feds that take all this federations, and I'm talking across shooting, any sport, I don't care. There's a governing body.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying there's not some kind of whatever you want to call it, office work or whatnot. You know what I mean? But like
admin stuff.
Admin stuff. They fucking pocket a lot of money and don't care and don't give it back to anybody. USAPL is a trash organization that does that same thing. They take all that money. I don't care. Well, we have to do this and this. You don't have to do that. Your judges don't have to wear polo shirts.
Hey, now.
To judge. Nice. But you get what I'm saying, though. Like, and that's probably not even like a major fee. It's just shit like that. Like,
yeah,
you're doing stuff like you care more about the presentation of your judges and making all these people pay all this money. And the IPF was terrible at it too. Pay all this money to be like, I remember talking to Dave Tate, and I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong on the number. I said, were you going to get your combo rack like IPF certified? And he said, no, it cost like $150,000 a year to get it certified, or every 3 years. He goes, and it's only for 2 meets if you want it for nationals and worlds. What are you doing with that $150,000?
That'd be obnoxious. I remember Mark Bell talking about getting his knee sleeves approved, and it was like $5,000 or $8,000.
What are you doing with that money? How about A7? A7 sponsors all these meets, and you can't even wear their fucking shirts to lift. Like their grippy shirts.
I do think that's super funny.
But then why don't you give the money to lifters? Like we were talking about these competitions where people, even in our meets, you know, at the Ed Cohn meet, we give away like $5,000 in cash and prizes, combined deal, whatever. But you know what? Even if I was in that meet and I knew I wasn't going to win, just like I know if I competed in our meet, I wouldn't win. I don't care that I pay the $100 because I feel like I still get taken care of. I get my shirt, I get a goodie bag. Mm-hmm. But I see that the lifters get the money. The money's going back to the people competing.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you still want to, what's the old poker term? You still want to take a rake as the person who's running it because, you know, like
you got to make it worthwhile.
Yeah. You may, like we do it here, but we close the gym down for the day. We take out everybody that volunteers if they want to stay and eat or whatever after we take them out. If you have it somewhere, you have to rent a space like a hotel lobby or wherever you're having it at. And there's also nothing wrong with a meet director wanting to make a couple $100 for his day to take home. There's also people don't get into business
the threshold of like how much, like, and that's where you as the lifter get to vote with your money.
Yeah.
Like if you think that like it costs a bunch and you don't like the federation, like then don't compete in that federation. Don't compete at that meet. Don't do that stuff. Like you can vote with that.
Yeah. And we are not a federation. We don't sanction our meet because I don't want to, we still have great judging, you know, whatever, that's all besides the point. But these other feds I can't imagine the number of lifters that compete in the USAPL.
Oh, nationwide?
Nationwide, yeah. And the whatever they pay a year. And those, unless they changed it, those dickheads didn't even do a calendar year. Like if you joined the USAPL in October, your membership was up in December.
Oh, but you still the same fee, like not a prorated fee. Ugh.
I'm like 99% sure. You can double check me on that, but yeah, just these federations, these organizations need to start caring about the competitors. And it's getting old. And I get like, the old guys don't want to get annoyed by new guys wanting to do stuff and change things up. It's just like down at the range, every one of those dickheads that gets mad if you're driving 6 miles an hour instead of 5 miles an hour or this and that or whatever, like just shut up. Like who cares?
Like things are going to change, right? Like
things are going to change. I mean, we've seen it. You and I like watching people it bothers us. You know what I mean? Like that, a lot of people don't train together anymore and shit like that. And it's whatever.
USAPL is generally estimated to have somewhere around 50 to 70,000 active annual members.
And then what's their membership fee?
I don't know. We'll see.
Because I guess I don't know. They have insurance. I get they have to carry some kind of insurance, but it's probably not that much because they're fucking. I mean, you're an insurance guy. I bet their insurance isn't that high because they probably don't have that many claims.
$75. It looks like 75. Yeah, and then anywhere from 75 to 200 to compete.
Okay, so do the math on the 75 times. Like, what do you think their insurance fee is?
Oh, I have no idea.
I mean, I know as a trainer, like liability insurance is like $150 a year or less with like $1 million policy because the number of claims is like minimal. Because you're signing a waiver also as a lifter, which we all know a waiver is only as good as the paper it's written on for the most part.
3.7 million.
They're making $3.7 million a year. Do you think it costs them $700,000 to run the organization?
For sure.
Yeah, but like, so where's that other $3 million going?
Right.
Why don't you disclose your books on where your money's going?
Well, I don't have to do that.
No, I know, but just like,
but I think it gets into that. Yeah, it's like, what do you? But the other part is like, if you feel like, what was the USPA at the Arnold? Was that? No, it was USAPL.
You mean the big one?
Yeah, the big one.
Oh, that big show they put. Yeah, the big production.
Yeah, so they have that. Like they put that thing on. Like, there's something to be like. it's as long as the lifters feel like they're getting their money worth, and like then
but now you're talking that's like the Arnold, and you're talking about worlds and nationals. Okay. First of all, if you don't own that equipment at this point, you're an idiot.
oh, for sure.
Like their display boards.
Yeah.
If I'm making 3.7 million a year, I'm going to own that equipment. But even if you're renting that equipment, still not a lot of money. And for the Arnold and let's say worlds and nationals. Okay, it's not a ton of money you're putting out right there. I bet all three of those events don't cost $2 million to run.
Yeah. And I don't know what, I haven't been to many USAPL meets.
And then you're taking that same event. That's just the memberships. Now you're charging them probably $200 to lift at the Arnold, and there's probably 200 lifters at the Arnold.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's
So flipping the money back into it, and like you said, it doesn't have to be like $1 million. You don't have to give away like $1 million. I remember the old the U.S. Open, where like we're giving away 30 grand a year. Well, that lasted like 2 years. You need to find like a reasonable. But hey, at the Arnold, we're going to give away, because we make 3.7 million. We're going to give away $3,700 at the Arnold.
right.
But that's a whole nother discussion of things. I really went off on a tangent there because I guess I'm obsessed that these federations are so shitty to people around.
Yeah, I think it's just, the federation thing in general of just, especially in the powerlifting of, like, there's so many, and it's because someone got butt hurt by someone else in this federation. And
They thought they should have a world record, even though their squat was 7 inches high.
right, and they're like, well, fucking, I'm going to start my own federation.
Yeah.
And, like, that's, yeah.
So,
But I still think you should compete.
yeah, you should go out and compete in what your level, I should say obsession goes with the level of competition you want to be at.
Yeah. Like,
That's the best way to say it.
Yeah, like the more you, it's just like horsepower to get a faster car, right? It's not linear to the amount of horsepower you need to how fast you're going to go. It starts to have an exponential curve up, right? So the better you want to get, the more you have to invest in it, the more you have to commit and become obsessed with it.
Yeah. And it's not even a monetary investment, it's time.
Right. Right. And so like you want to have fun and compete, and like I think that the gal at that meet kind of like changed the perspective for me for like shooting, because like I've always like been like, I want to be competitive or try to be competitive. Now obviously I know I have my own limitations. Like I'm not willing to put in the time it would take to be probably a master or a grandmaster. But do I think I could be a B class shooter with what I'm willing to do? Yeah.
Yeah, or
A
even
class?
possibly an A.
Maybe, yeah, and stuff. But like, then it's also like, if I really enjoy it, like, sure, I can still compete, I can still train, but then just understand like what that trade off is of being like, I'm not gonna go to the range once a week and be a grandmaster. Like I'm not gonna be a GM.
Yes.
And that's totally, for me, that's totally fine. Like I'm good with that. But you can still compete at these different levels and like, test stuff out.
Just like if I'm going to train like 2 days a week at the gym, well, you're probably not going to be an elite level lifter. So, yeah, I think obsession goes hand in hand with how far you want to go in it. And neither way is wrong.
Right. 100%.
Just do something and compete.
Yeah. Just compete. Like if you're doing something and comparing yourself to other people, like you should compete.
Yeah.
If you're just doing something because you're like, hey, I go for a run because I have a bad ticker and I just want to stay in shape. Cool.
Yeah.
Like you can compete against yourself even a little bit, or if it's like, hey, I just need to put in, 10 miles a week and that's my jam. Like, cool.
Yeah.
Stuff. But if when you start getting into the thing of like looking to see how other people are doing, starting to compare yourself to other people, just step on the stage, step on a competition and just see how it goes.
Yeah.
I bet most people enjoy it.
But just make sure you have fun. That's all we got. We appreciate you listening. Like, subscribe, share, follow. We'll see you next time.